Hello, welcome to the show. It's Canada Brew with me, Graham Hughes, on Politics Social. Hope you're doing all right this morning. It is Wednesday, the 10th of September 2025. Already people in the chat already. Sorry about being a little bit late there. My computer hates it when I go to other countries and you try and do the normal things that you do to set up to do these streams, and it's like, oh, but you're not in the UK. You have to re-sign in to everything. And I'm like, I don't want to have to re-sign into everything, so then I had to start my VPN to make them think I'm in the UK. Anyway, so which is funny because lots of people in the UK have now got VPNs to pretend they're not in the UK for other reasons. Anyway, so first of all, I want to say a big hello to John and Trip in the chat, also Person Impersonator in there, Liam Fairhurst, Donald Cowie, and Andrew Ray. I'll come to Andrew's question in a moment. But if you'd like to join our friends in the chat there, all you need to do, hit that big juicy subscribe button and wait for 1 minute. I'm going to start doing a new thing on YouTube soon. Okay, just so you know, there will be, I'll be doing shows where for the first hour everyone can watch, and then there'll be an after show which is going to be members only, for people who are members of the channel. So pre-warning, it's not going to happen for a little while, but if you do want to join the channel, just hit the join button and you'll be able to become a member. Or maybe if you're watching and Alistair or someone else is watching as well, you might get just randomly made a member, but from the kindness of all the viewers. But to go back to Andrew Ray's question, your verdict on PMQs today. I thought that Kemi Badenoch, I don't say this very often, I think she did very well. I think she did really, really well. She skewered Starmer over this relationship between Peter Mandelson, who's the British ambassador to the USA, and I understand why he's the British ambassador to the USA, because him and Trump move in similar circles, but the similar circles that they move in are full of paedophiles, rich, wealthy sex predators. I can see why they picked him, but this isn't great. This is not a good look for Labour. And Badenoch absolutely took him to task on it, and he didn't answer the question. She asked her 6 questions, and he didn't answer any of them. He sidestepped the issue. I don't think that Mandelson's going to still be in his post by the end of the week. That's my looking into my crystal balls there, but we'll have to see. Person Impersonator says, hi good people and good badgers. One Aggie Pagans in the chat. Badger police patrolling. Cool. And everyone's saying good afternoon. It's morning for me. It's 9 o'clock. I was going to start at 8:30 this morning. Sorry about the change of times last minute. Thank you for sticking with me while things are a little bit discombobulated, but I'm trying to keep things on a fairly even keel, and we are going to be doing a proper Friday night social on Friday. So whatever happens throughout the week, please join us for that. So let's talk a little bit about why this Epstein scandal just won't die, why it's not going away. Trump has survived the mad tariffs he's put on his own people, effectively putting what can only be described as trade sanctions on the American people. He survived attempted coups. He survived 2 impeachments. He survived selling classified documents to America's enemies. He survived being accused of sexual assault by over 20 women, being found culpable of rape in a court of law. He survived all these scandals. All the corruption, Trump University, Trump steaks, Trump shoes, Trump's NFTs. Remember them? They were fun, weren't they? Did anyone lose their money on NFTs? Listen. I don't think many people who watch this show would have been into NFTs, but can you give me the money next time instead? If you've got like $5,000 to spend on a fucking GIF, give it to me. Just give me the money, because I'll make it go a long way. I will do so much good with that money. Better than a worthless picture off the internet. I mean, when something sounds too good to be true. Yeah, I felt NFTs just sounded too bad to be true. I'm like, you're kidding me, aren't you? They're selling an internet picture that can be endlessly copied for thousands of dollars. Okay, that's what you want. But anyway, look, Trump has survived all of this stuff. But Epstein is different because it actually cuts through to his MAGA base. The others don't. They don't care. They don't care about his corruption. They don't care about his nepotism, giving his kids jobs in the government. They don't care about the money that the Saudis have given him. They don't care about his cozy relationship with Vladimir Putin and chumming up to the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. They don't care about all that stuff. They don't care about him not supporting Ukraine. They don't care about him abandoning the rebels fighting against al-Assad in Syria in his first term. They don't care about him abandoning the people of Afghanistan. They don't care about any of that. Any of that. They do not care. What they care about is they think that there's a big child sex ring in Washington, right? And Trump was going to drain the swamp and get rid of this child sex ring in the basement of a pizza parlor involving Hillary Clinton somehow. They thought that Trump was going to get rid of it, and he well and truly didn't. He didn't get rid of it, and as a result of him not getting rid of it, he's losing a lot of his supporters because they just see him as part of that group. And every single one of his supporters who will support him on everything else, that's the chink in the armor. That is the bit that we can get him on. And then once that gap in his defences is exploited, it's possible to bring Trump voters over to your side on a bunch of other stuff as well. You know, this is our Trojan horse, the Epstein scandal. It hits deep cultural nerves about sex, power, corruption in a way that the other sex scandals haven't with Trump. The fact that he was shagging his porn star wife, his porn star girlfriend on the side, while his other porn star, the one he married, was at home pregnant with his child. Do you know, like this guy's not a good example for anyone. He's just a terrible man. But we all know that. But this birthday book, which was discussed earlier in the year, and he denied it, and Caroline Levitt, his press officer, she denied it as well. But now it's been published. It's a smoking gun. You know, it's not just another news item, but a physical artifact full of sleaze, like it's shit jokes, but also grotesque jokes, and his obvious signature that he said, no, that's not mine. It was clearly his signature, and it's been shown on other documents. But this isn't just about Trump. This is about how the world's most powerful men protected each other while victims were silenced. Most scandals, I guess, most political scandals are about money, policy, politics. But Epstein is about exploitation and abuse. I mean, these are crimes that people find visceral, not abstract. No one was really upset that Trump had borrowed money off a bank under false circumstances. It didn't really cut through. But this is actually cutting through, because if you talk to any of these MAGA law or the refuckers in our country, one of the big things is, we've got to protect the children. And this isn't protecting the children, is it? This is the opposite of protecting children. This is abusing children. And that's one of the reasons why it cuts deep. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to get to my settings to make my camera a bit brighter. It's a bit better now, but like it's on auto settings, so I'm coming across as quite dark. But Windows ain't working today. I had to make a phone call to the UK, to a landline. Has anyone done that recently from another country? Good luck. Skype isn't there anymore. Skype stopped being a thing in May this year. So I moved everything to Microsoft Teams, which has now moved my entire Microsoft account on Windows, on my PC, on my laptop. Everything, it's changed now. It's got a different password. It's got a different picture of me. I'm like, I didn't want this. And that was just so I could make a phone call. But apparently, in order to make a phone call now on their new Skype, Microsoft Teams, you have to like sign up for a year. I'm like, I want to make one phone call. I've got to make one phone. Yeah. Don't get me started. So yeah, I had to download another app, and then had to prepay to make a bloody phone call. Honestly, I spent an hour trying to make a bloody phone call in a foreign country without it costing me. I can call on my phone. Let's see how much gift gaff is. to call the UK. How you doing, Gift Gaff? Hey, Graham, welcome to Canada. That's nice. Calls cost £1 per minute to make and receive. Calls cost £1 a minute to make and receive. Now, obviously, as soon as I go to a new country, I get myself a new SIM card for that country. But even my Canada SIM won't let me make international calls to landlines. Obviously, with WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram, I can send stuff to people's phones, mobile phones, but when it's a landline number, we're going old school, baby. We're going copper wires, yo. And that costs a lot of money. WhatsApp is free, says Andrew Ray. What, to call landline numbers in another country? Not in my experience. Why not use WhatsApp? Because it's a landline number. Show me how to call a landline number on WhatsApp, and I'll be very impressed. Can't you just do it Messenger or WhatsApp? No, it's a landline. God, you're not following this, are you? It's a landline number, right? You know, like a phone with a cable that goes to the wall, and someone picks up a receiver and has a dial pad. It's one of them. It's not. Yeah. Please don't say, well, Graham, why didn't you just do WhatsApp? I'm like, oh, you haven't thought of that. Thanks. Anyway, so let's get back onto the main topic of today. The reason why I'm talking about this is because it was brought up by Kemi Badenoch in Prime Minister's Questions. So I think it's sort of fair enough that we talk about it this morning. And obviously, we've been following it a little bit on this channel with what's happening with Trump in America. To be honest with you, I don't really like talking about him. I don't like talking about Epstein. But I am hopeful that this will be the one thing that dogs, and I hope it dogs, Trump for the rest of his days, at least the rest of his presidency, which I think is the rest of his days and the rest of his presidency are kind of like one and the same. But there you go. Haven't they got a mobile? Who's calling the king? No, it's a finance company in Manchester. Like I just and they wouldn't let me deal with it over email, and they have a portal on their website which I couldn't sign up to for some reason. It said my email's not registered when there's another part of the website that I can use on the same email. Look, there's a whole story, but basically had to make a phone call. Really took a long time. It reminded me of the bad old days in the late 90s when we'll spend literally days trying to work out how to watch television on our computers. Does anyone remember that? You used to get like a card, a graphics card with a coaxial cable thing put in, and then you had the TV signal, but then it didn't quite work, and it was a big nightmare, and it would take you many, many days to set up, and then finally you could watch TV on your computer, and you were like, yes, on this little tiny CRT monitor. Alistair, oh, thank you so much. Alistair has gifted 5 Politics Social memberships. Oh, that is really kind of you. Thank you so much, Alistair. They've gone out to Ben Stringer, they've gone to Gary Arnold, they've gone to Jodie Bobble, they've gone to Heya Sasha, and they've gone to One Coding Life. And then, did you try? Thank you very much, Alistair. That is really, really kind of you, and welcome to the channel. Hopefully, you'll get your name in your names, Gary and etc. You'll get your names at the in the credits. I'll update the credits at some point this week. And also, you should be able to get access to the Discord server. So if you go to the, I don't know what they call it, the feed or the wall or something, where you leave posts on here on YouTube, there's a post that you can only see if you're a member, and it's got a link that should get you to the Discord server. And new members enjoy new memberships. It's perks. Heard Graham's got things planned for members. Yeah. What I'm going to plan to do after the morning brews is do like a little bit of more of a discussion format with members of the channel. So it's more of a back and forth with you. I mean, more so than we do normally, but it won't just be a case of me talking about one particular topic that I want to talk about, or a few different things in the news. Take a Starlink system next time you go to Canada. Well, DJ, that would just give me access to the internet. I've got access to the internet. Clearly, that isn't the problem. The problem is finding a way to call a number in the UK. You've got to download an app. In the end, just so you know, in case you ever caught in this web of nonsense, it's web. You see what I use there? There's an app that you can get called Yolla, and you can buy $4 worth of fuel for your phone, and you can use that to call any number you like in the world. So there you go. Don't support Musk. Lol. Yes, well, again, Starlink would be supporting Musk. I don't need internet. I've got internet. That is not the problem. I do want, and I've said this before, but I do want to get, if I had loads of money and had money to waste, people have money to waste to get like a personalised number plate on their car or some wank like that. I want to get a phone. I want to get an old-fashioned Whitehall 1212 phone, right? Like a black Bakelite phone with a dial, with an actual dial, and I want it to be inside. It's a mobile phone, so I can pick it up and pick up the receiver, and it's got a battery in it. So and I want to put it down on the train when I'm sitting at a table on a train. I'm in a cafe, put it on the table, and pick up the receiver, dial the number with the old school, baby. Yeah, I'll be like, how do we do a plus on this phone? But yeah, that'd be so much fun. I just don't know why this idea of like pulling a whole phone out of your briefcase, an old dial phone, and actually using it to call someone, I think would be a lot of fun. So there you go. Yes. But no, I didn't. I did try smoke signals, but they couldn't see because of the curvature of the Earth. Pain in the arse, that, isn't it? If only it didn't exist. If only I believed it didn't exist. Anyway, so back to bloody Trump and fucking disgusting people that he hangs out with. Every new detail that comes out about Epstein reignites fresh, disgust. And unlike sort of tariffs or NATO rants, this story latches onto people's emotions in a way that it cuts through. Like I said earlier, no one gave a shit about banks lending in money. They were like, well, it's not my money, I don't care. So let's talk about Epstein, Trump, and the friendship. Epstein was a rich kid, paedophile, sex trafficker, and he died in 2019 under suspicious circumstances. And this just kind of like adds, grist to the mill, in that they try and make out like there's nothing untoward about his suicide, and then they release the tape of his cell door, and there's like 13 minutes missing or something. There's 2 edits that were put in Adobe Premiere that weren't taking out the metadata by the people who released it, because the people who released it don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, stripping metadata from a video is not impossible. There are programs that will do it for you, but they didn't even think about it. And Wired got hold of it. Wired magazine, the tech magazine, and went, "This has been edited, mate." I'm like, "No, it hasn't. It hasn't been edited." Like, look, you can see in the metadata that it's been edited. We can see like what program they used. It was Adobe Premiere, and also, I mean, I think in the metadata you might be able to tell whose Adobe account it was done with. They do that though, don't they? Though, when you print something out. There's a serial number that's on every piece of paper that gets printed out, and it has the date, the time, and the number of the serial number of the printer is actually printed onto every single piece of paper. It's in yellow, and it's barely perceptible to the human eye. It's imperceptible most of the time, but if it's run under a particular scanner, it can. This is important in court documents and stuff when people are saying, oh, this contract was signed on this date, and they're like, no, it wasn't printed out till after that date, because we can tell. And it's one of the reasons why, and this used to drive me up the wall, and now that I know why this is the case, I'm like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. It's why when you have a colour printer and it runs out of colour ink and you just want to print in black and white. We've all been there, and we're like, why do I need yellow ink in order to print black and white? Like, it shouldn't matter. But no, you've got to have that in there so we can actually put this code onto every piece of paper that goes through a printer. Just a little bit of ink, which tells the people who are in the know when it was printed. There's also, fun fact, there's also a way for any recorded information, audio, for any audio that's been recorded, going back to like the 1970s, right? So a cassette tape from the 1970s, you can, with some tools, work out exactly where in the world and when that voice recording or sound recording was made. And the way it's done is all about AC. So AC, electricity, alternating current, it goes up and down. And there are, you imagine it like I don't know, like a barcode or something, or like the rings of a tree. They're all unique to a certain place at a certain time, and a certain city. So you would be able to tell if you were forensic, what they call forensic investigator. You'll be able to take a piece of sound recording and you'll be able to nail it down to the minute that it was recorded on and the location of where it was recorded. And what they do is they just listen to the sound of the electronic buzzing in the background, and that gives it away because the frequency of the buzzing is unique to that place and that time. The frequency of the buzzing and the waveform of the buzzing is absolutely unique, and that's another thing that comes up in cases where people have recorded someone like, no, that wasn't me, and it's like you can actually prove that it was recorded on that date in that place, not down to the building or anything, but in the area, because they all would have had the same very, very quiet, like we can't hear it, human ears can't hear it, but obviously they've got software that can pick it up and work out when something was recorded, which is kind of fascinating. You can pick it apart, like they picked apart the vocal line for John Lennon in the Beatles song Now and Then, and they took that away from the rest of the sounds. Same sort of shit. So just be aware of all this stuff. If you ever try and forge anything, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder than you would think. But anyway, so Trump did this fucking document, which is clearly real. Like, it's clearly him that he did it. And the link between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein goes back to the 1980s. They lived together, well, not together, but they lived near each other on the same Palm Beach area where Mar-a-Lago is. Now, also, say, New York, social world in the 80s, right into the 2000s. They were photographed together, they partied together. Epstein attended Mar-a-Lago, and apparently the fallout was in 2004 when they fell out big time. Apparently, from what rumours I've heard, this was about underage women who were working in Mar-a-Lago as masseurs who, so girls, and Epstein poached them for himself. The birthday book, which has come into prominence now, from that comes from 2003. So it lands smack in the middle of the sort of the timeline that we're talking about. And Trump has tried to distance himself, saying he wasn't a fan, but photos, quotes, and now this book shows a much closer relationship than he was letting on. And he isn't alone. Clinton, Mandelson, Prince fucking Andrew, the grand old Duke of York. But they all appear, but Trump is in power now, so the spotlight is brighter on him. And this birthday book that was published by the Democrats, it was released by the Democrats, which was taken from Epstein's estate. It's a scrapbook of notes, sketches, and birthday wishes for Epstein's 50th. It was compiled by Ghislaine Maxwell, who is currently serving a very long sentence for facilitating the sex crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. And on Trump's page, it was a note filmed with innuendo, crude jokes, and this signature that's supposed to signify pubic hair. And Trump's lawyers have called it a hoax. They sued the Wall Street Journal for 20 billion pounds. I mean, dollars, $20 billion for reporting it, and then sort of backpedaled when the physical copy surfaced. And this page is sort of physically damning in a way that words could never be. You can dismiss a headline, but this is a handwritten note, and it's really cringy, it's really creepy, it's really like, oh, we have secrets together, darling. It's just, it's clearly two sexually dysfunctional paedophiles having a little joke together about what they can get away with because they are so incredibly rich. And then we've got the strongman, myth that Trump likes to push in every aspect of his MAGA bullshit. And his appeal is, for a lot of people, is based on the idea that he is untouchable, that he is Teflon. Every time he wriggles out of one scandal to the next, he just reinforces the brand that this is a man who is above the law, who is above everything. He's above reproach. And this cuts through it. He looks weak. He looks evasive. He looks defensive. It undermines his straight-talking image. He's not answering the questions, is he, on this particular issue? And even MAGA forums are obsessed with Epstein. His denials, Trump's denials are not. They're not landing in the way that they do when he denies other crimes that he's committed or other terrible things he's done in the past or doing right now. And the Trump has then lashed out at his own angry base because he's saying, that his own supporters are focused on the wrong things, and he's called them idiots. I mean, they are idiots. He's right. But even a stopped atomic clock is right once a universe. David Faulkner, thank you very much for being a member for 1 month. Perfect timing for me, evening time here in Asia, says David Faulkner. Ooh. Welcome from all over the world, David, over there in Hong Kong. Diz saying, it's creepy as fuck. I hope you're not talking about me, Diz. I hope you're talking about the people I'm talking about. Trump reminds me of Savile, says Plumduff. Yes, very much so. Two cheeks of the same arse. This undercuts Trump so well because Trump thrives on being in control. The Epstein story flips the script. Instead of dominating the narrative, he's reacting. He's dodging. He's contradicting. It makes him look like every other slippery politician in the eyes of his fans. He's always looked like that to us. The people who hate him have always thought he was a slippery bastard who just gets away with everything. But this is cutting through to MAGA, and it's why we have to keep going on about it. It's why I'm doing this show today, because I just want the stuff out there. I just want it, someone will be scrolling past and they'll see capital letters, Epstein, the scandal that will go, and it'll just reinforce that in their mind that this is really grim. But also, I want to talk about Peter Mandelson as well. This is Mandelson has written a letter saying he's calling Epstein his best pal, very very fawning, and Kemi Badenoch, which is what I would do if I was the Tory leader. God, heaven forbid, kill me if I was. But if I was the Conservative leader, this is exactly what I would do. I would absolutely hammer Starmer at PM Hughes because this is our ambassador to America, and she was demanding to know why Mandelson was appointed despite his Epstein ties. She asked Keir Starmer if they knew about all this stuff before before Mandelson was given this position. And oh my God, really interesting. Epstein's circle stretched from London to New York to the Caribbean. And this scandal doesn't just taint Trump, but the entire global elite. And this is good, good. Bring them down like a house of cards. They're all fucking nonsense. Look at Elon Musk. Not for too long because he's fucking ugly. But his dad married Elon Musk's stepsister. So he married his own stepdaughter, who he started looking after when she was 3 years old. And like, hardly anyone's talking about this. This is the thing that we should be banging Elon Musk over the head with every time he stands up. Just put your hand up and say, I hear your dad's got your sister pregnant twice. Is that not a bit fucked up? Is she your sister, or is she your stepsister or your stepmom? Please explain. Please explain. You know? Ooh, we got some super chat. Got a massive super chat in from Plum Duff. Just 1 second, Plum Duff. Thank you so much. First of all, Paula Thomas, thank you for the £5 super chat. But part of Donald Trump's original appeal was that he said he'll be fighting his huge establishment child sex conspiracy. How ironic. Yeah, exactly. A lot of his fans thought that they were going to go and find this pizza basement paedophile ring in Washington. It turns out that they went down there with the AR-15, and they found the AR-15s, and they found Trump there. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. You were the chosen one. You were supposed to fight the pedos, not become one. Just to paraphrase Obi-Wan Kenobi there. Plumduff, thank you so much for the mega chat. Woohoo! 50 quid. Thank you so much, Plumduff. That is really, really generous of you. Thank you. I know you've been through a lot recently, Graham. Get yourself a Canadian cuppa. You're a good man. Oh, thank you, Plumduff. That's really, really kind. Thank you. That is amazing. Thanks so much for your support for me and for the channel going forward. We've put together a really lovely community here, and I want to thank you all for just being nice. I think when we look at the news in the world and what's going on in all these different countries, including our own, and there seems to be a deficit of niceness. When anyone tells you, oh, I'm sick of woke, oh, woke is dead, oh, everything I hate is woke, what they really mean is they just don't want to be nice, they don't want to be polite, they don't want to be kind, they don't want to be generous, they don't want to hold doors open for people, or flash someone a smile, or tip someone who's bought you a coffee. Or it's the politics of selfishness. It's the politics of me, very much in the libertarian mindset, and I hate it. I hate libertarianism. I hate this anarchy for rich kids who can afford their own security services and their own healthcare and all that kind of stuff. They don't need society, or they think they don't need society, but as I keep stressing, everyone needs society, mate. Can't use your social media platform and no one can read, dickhead. Someone paid for all those people to be able to read, and it wasn't you, Elon Musk, who apparently is looking like he's going to be overtaken as the richest person in the world. Someone else is going to overtake him. So fingers crossed on that one. Right, we're going to just go back to the Trump Epstein scandal for a little bit, and then we're going to go over to the newspapers. But in the meantime, big thank you to Plumduff and everyone else who is watching. But yes. So Starmer's kind of in a little bit of an impossible position here with Mandelson, because if he defends Mandelson, he looks compromised, and if he sacks him, he has to admit terrible judgment again. And yeah, it's not great. For Trump, the UK angle is useful cover. Look, everyone was friends with him. It wasn't just me, which kind of it pretends to dilute the horror of what happened in the pedo island where Epstein lived. But I can't see this. I don't want this to go away. Maybe it will. Maybe people will get bored of it, but I hope it doesn't. I hope this is the little thread that we can pull on to destroy the sweater that is Trump's presidency. But yeah, the politics denier, it never happened. It's a hoax. Sue the media. I mean, the stuff that Caroline Levitt comes out with, like saying it's not real, and I at least in Peter Mandelson's defence, I don't really want to defend him too much, but he says, I regret it, I sympathise with the victims. Trump hasn't said anything like that, Meanwhile, Bill Clinton, what's he said about it? Nobody knows. Has anyone asked him? Does anyone know where he is? Does anyone know what he's doing? Well, the strategies may differ, but all this shows panic. Trump looks like a cornered rat, a very fat rat, and Mandelson looks like a man drowning in shame, and Clinton looks like someone hoping that, his silence will save him, but victims keep speaking out, and new files are going to keep emerging, and I think that the Democrats have done something smart for a change, which, makes a change, which is that they have kept they haven't released everything, and this steady drip to keep Epstein in the public subconscious is, I think, the public consciousness. Sorry, well, I suppose it's subconscious as well, but they keep this in the public consciousness is really powerful for the anti-Trump agenda, which we are all part of. I hope, if you're watching this channel, but yeah, this isn't just about. This isn't just about any old scandal like the type that Trump's been involved with in the past. This is a bipartisan effort from some Republicans, not all by any stretch of the imagination, but some Republicans, to release the remaining Epstein files, and Trump is doing everything to block it, including before the summer break, they actually ended Congress a day early. They ended it a day early, so that they wouldn't have to release these files. But that just kept the story alive all the way over summer. And what else is there? We need to see flight logs. We need to see financial records. We need witness statements. The flight logs could be very damning. Trump has said that he never visited Pedo Island, but we don't know. Did he visit Pedo Island? If all the flight logs are released to the public, it might turn out that he went there many, many times. We just don't know. And you've got the sort of the fact that this isn't just a Washington scandal. It's something that people are interested in, not just all over America, but all over the world. And once a story becomes like internet fuel in this way, you're looking at the Streisand effect. Famously, Barbara Streisand tried to get this picture of her home taken off the internet, and by drawing attention to the fact that there was a picture of her home on the internet, everyone looked at this picture of her home. So a picture that had only been seen by a few hundred people ended up being seen by millions. So it's the Streisand effect, and it's when you try and quieten something down on the internet and it just goes completely the other way. And this is what's happened with this. Look, Trump is very, very used to surviving scandals, more so than any other human being that has ever lived since the dawn of time. But I feel like Epstein might be inescapable, and the fact that there were questions asked about it by the leader of the opposition to the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland today in Parliament, asked about Epstein. Epstein's name is coming up. It's now recorded in Hansard. We're talking about it in the UK, and you're going to see when we look at the papers, they're talking about it in the papers. It's self-sustaining, And as long as files remain unreleased and Trump keeps denying all this stuff, and more pictures and more videos come out, Epstein's shadow will just loom over the rest of Trump's presidency. And, as far as I'm concerned, good. I hope it does. I hope questions continue to be asked, not least about, how he died. Did he really top himself under President Trump's first term in office? Because a lot of people are saying there's something fishy going on there. A lot of people. Alistair, thank you so much for the £10 super chat, mate. That is really kind of you. Getting into my work in Edinburgh, the roads covered in flag, saltires, and the Scottish King banner, but I don't know who it was. Hopefully not flag shaggers. I think it's indie folk taking saltires back. Well, I hope so. I hope that's the case, and I hope that I pronounced saltires correctly. If I pronounced that wrong, if you want to give me a phonetic pronunciation, I'll try and remember to say it that way in the future. I don't think it's a psalter, is it? Because that would be that's a book of Psalms, and it begins with a P. There's a fun little word for you to use next time you play in Scrabble. I've forgotten about the Andrew connection. Says Trip. Epstein's the ghost of Christmas present. Yes, says Harushi. You are very right. And Liam says, hi Graham, refuck are copying Trump to the letter, talking about councils being responsible for education. Hope you're having fun. Elbows up. Thank you very much. Elbows up here in Canada. Liam, yes, I agree. We talked about that on the show the other day about how they're going after education, how they're going after, trying to rewrite history, and this is what they want to do. SG says, as a naturalized citizen, I had to stand up in public and swear allegiance to the sovereign, something that people born here don't have to do. Flags don't bother me, these are my flags too. But I'm particularly asked about the fact that I don't know. I saw this briefly this morning, but one of the white horses that's drawn on the side of one of the hills down in the south of England, apparently someone's drawn a massive cross across this across one of the white horses. I should look this up actually, because this is bothering me now. I'm not happy about it. White horse defaced, I guess. Criminally damaged. It's the white horse at Kilburn. Oh, it's in York. Sorry, I thought it was down south. It's one of the York ones. So let's have a look. They've put a. Oh, and Uffington White Horse as well. Sorry, that was 2010. Sorry. Come on, BBC, you're killing me here. Major landmark in North Yorkshire criminally damaged with red flag. The white horse at Kilburn has been given a really crap flag in the middle of it. Really, really grim. This is one that was created in 1857, this white horse in Kilburn, but I'm sure I saw another one. I remember when Extinction Rebellion were slammed for defacing the white horse at Westbury. I'm just seeing now. Maybe it was photoshopped. But at least one white horse has been defaced with a flag of St. George, because I think some people have just got too much time on their hands. Is this like the new crop circles? There's two guys went out with like a plank of wood and a rope, and they made all these crop circles, and people thought aliens were coming. Is this just like bored people? Are people just bored again? Haven't they got video games? Haven't they got TikTok? How can you be bored in this day and age? There's so many things to see and do. But there you go. Also the one at Westbury, Wiltshire. Yeah, that's what I thought, Reverend Caffey. But I haven't seen any. I can't find a news report about it. Hang on, if I type in Guardian, because it was a screen grab that I saw, so it didn't have the link. He's mural, Uffington White Horse, and that's from years ago. Fucking arseholes. Anyway, we're going to go over to the papers now, I hope. Yay, that worked. So we've got Israel risks Trump's wrath by hitting Hamas in Qatar. This is an unbelievable, well, it's not unbelievable. On the same day that Russia attacked Poland had to shoot down Russian drones over Polish territory. So that's Russia actively attacking a NATO member, which means that we should declare war on Russia tomorrow, today or yesterday, but we're not going to do that, obviously. But also, Israel fired rockets into Doha, the capital of Qatar, to try and kill peace talks, literally kill the people attending the peace talks, to try and end the barbarity that's happening in Palestine right now. Absolutely unbelievable. And anyone who's still defending Israel's actions right now needs to take a bloody long look at themselves, because this is, it's been beyond the pale for 2 years now, but this is just really, really grim. And could wind up creating a wider war in the Middle East, which would be absolutely devastating, not just for the people in the Middle East caught up in the madness, but also for everyone around the world. The Middle East is, for better or worse, it is an important part of the planet, and why we are still suckling at the greasy, toxic teat of the oil conglomerates, the corporations, the cartels, the oil cartels. We are beholden to these countries, and if they go to war, mate, you think that your petrol prices and your gas prices went through the roof when dickhead Putin invaded his neighbour. You want to see what happens when the main country is involved in setting the price of our fuel bills in Britain for some reason. Go to war. It's not going to be pretty, I tell you that. There's going to be a big clamour for everyone to get going on renewables in the UK. But yeah, the main story that I was talking about today, the Epstein files, best mates, call to sack, Lord Mandelson after closeness to pedo revealed in book, sick tycoons alleged fixer sat on Queen's throne after Andrew invites. This is Andrew inviting Epstein to come to the palace and sit on the Queen's throne because honestly, when we think of like the worst of all possible toffs, that's what this little bastard Prince Andrew is. I mean, even the Daily Mail, even the Daily Mail, the fawning Daily Mail that fawns over the royal family and hates Meghan Markle, hates Meghan with just an absolute, the loathing, just an insane hatred that just goes beyond reason. Even they are saying, well, compared to what Prince Andrew did, does Meghan seem that bad? And I'm like, no, Meghan hasn't committed any major crimes. She's just been not white. Not white enough, because she is mixed race, but she's not white enough for the readers of the Daily fucking Mail. But even they have to admit this is Epstein's relationship with Prince Andrew. That's not going away either. And I don't think it should. Best mates there. Trump condemns Israeli airstrike on Qatar. That's the Daily Telegraph there. How Harry's children could fix the royal rift. I really don't care. Other things I don't care about is John Cleese saying he'll never work with the BBC again. Give a shit, mate. You're not funny anymore. Sit down. I thought it was interesting. I saw an interview with Eric Idle a few weeks ago, one of the Pythons, the guy who wrote the songs. And he was saying that before he tells a joke, he runs it by his grandchildren to make sure that it's okay, because he doesn't want to offend anyone. And he made this really good point about comedy is there to like lift people. It's not there to make people feel bad. That's the whole point of comedy. It's to make people laugh. It's to make people have a good time. It's not to bully people. It's not to berate people. It's not to give people a bad day. It's not to cruelly single them out for torture, especially if it's not someone in the public eye, especially if it's a group of people who are a minority that are put upon anyway. If you're going to go after someone, go after the rich and powerful, go after the people in charge, go after individual politicians, financiers, money men, social media conglomerates. Go after them. Don't go after the little person. Don't upset people and give them a bad day. Why would you do that as a comedian? And so Eric Idle checks everything with his grandkids and says, is it okay that I make this joke? And they'll be like, yeah, that's fine. You can still be edgy. It's fine. You can still be an edgy comic. This is the one that thinks, you can't be edgy anymore. It's like, there's a difference between being edgy, right? And saying things that you possibly, you wouldn't get away with in a normal circumstances because you're standing up on stage doing a routine. But at the same time, you don't need to be racist. You don't need to be sexist. You don't need to be misogynist. You don't need to be homophobic. You don't need to be transphobic to be funny. In fact, I genuinely find those jokes unfunny. They're just not funny. They're just shit jokes. The likes of the likes of Ricky Gervais, for instance. I think he's sullied his whole reputation for the sake of some jokes that weren't even fucking funny. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Anyway, so we'll go back to the papers now. So Trump condemns Israeli airstrike, as I mentioned. There's a picture there of Peter Mandelson with Epstein, and Peter Mandelson's in a bathrobe laughing away. It says, revealed Epstein's £1 billion deal with Mandelson. I mean, Jesus Christ. The circles that these motherfuckers move in is just bizarre. And then Daily Express here, every single one of us will be paying a Reeves penalty. This is from Kemi Badenoch, talking bollocks as usual. All bets are off. This is about there's going to be a protest against the tax hike. It's not a tax hike, we're taxing betting. Look, so when income tax first came in over 100 years ago, the not income tax, sorry, VAT. It was a luxury tax, right? It wasn't called VAT at the time. It was a luxury tax. And what did they put this tax on? Well, they put it on cigars. They put it on whiskey. They put it on things that you didn't need, that if you spent money on them, you obviously had a bit more money than you needed, and therefore the government could put 20% or whatever it was on top of the cost of that particular commodity. And it was just supposed to be on luxury goods, like, I don't know, caviar and swan's necks and things. So over time, obviously VAT has mutated and grown, and now it's pretty much on everything. It was on tampons for a very long time, which is disgraceful. It's not now. And we in the UK, we forced countries, before they joined the European Union, when we were a senior member of the European Union, one of the things when we were going through the enlargement process and taking new members on board, one of the things was that they had to have VAT on all these particular goods, and the reason was because we didn't want them undercutting prices in the UK. If you can send something from Poland or from the Czech Republic or Romania, and it costs a lot less, and you're undercutting British businesses, that's not fair on British businesses, obviously, right? So the idea was that we taxed luxuries, but certain luxuries never got taxed. Like the fuel on private aircraft wasn't taxed, like to the same level that your fuel that you were putting in your car was taxed. There's no tax on gambling in the same way that there is on other things that we shouldn't do, like alcohol, fancy foods, whatever. There's no tax on it at the moment. Well, there is, but it's not like at the same level as it would be if you were out buying some commodity, some good that someone in the UK had made, or some service that they had provided. You'd have to pay VAT on that, but you wouldn't necessarily have to pay VAT on a bet. The tax that you pay was at a lower rate. So what Rachel Reeves wants to do, and I think this is fine, is put up the amount that you have to pay in tax when you make a bet. Okay, cool. I have no problem with that at all, because no one needs to bet. No one needs to gamble. It's a choice. No one needs that to live. In fact, if you're doing it to live, then that's not a way to live, because you lose. You always lose. The house always wins. The odds are stacked against you. You can't beat maths. You can't beat maths. Maths will fuck you in the end, because, it's reality, isn't it? Guess how John Cheese, to use his original name, was educated. Anyone who said private school mafia, give yourself a congrats. Yeah, Paula, John Cheese definitely is on my private school mafia list, as is most of the Pythons. I think all the Pythons. I don't know if Eric Idle was. I'll have to look that up. But if you go to privateschoolmafia.com, you can see all the names on there. Anyway, so back to the papers. So I have no problem with this, but what I would also like to see is more regulation in the gambling industry to help people who have got gambling addictions. And I want a complete ban on advertising for gambling companies. I don't think that Everton should have Stake, who are a gambling company, written on the front of their shirts. I really don't think that should be allowed. In the same way that I don't think that they should be allowed to have Benson and Hedges on there. I think it should be banned, because it's pushing people who are desperate into use their pennies they have to pay for something that they're more likely than not going to lose their shirt. So no sympathy at all for the people who are complaining about this, all the gambling industry, which makes so much money. It makes my eyes water. We've got The Guardian here. Israel launches attack on Hamas chiefs in Qatar for ceasefire talks. I can't stress how much this is going to fuck things up for the whole of the peace process. And also Netanyahu's talking about absolutely flattening what's left of Gaza City with this ground-based invasion that's happening. It's just, he needs to be put back in his box, or put in a box. What else have we got in here? We've got pressure on Johnson over funding a private office. We've got ditch pledge on tax rises. CBI chief tells Reeves, and that might, I can't be asked reading that, but I assume it's saying you have to put some taxes up, which is fair enough. Put taxes on shit that I don't use. Why in God's name did our bathrobe clad ambassador to Washington fawn over the wicked paedophile who called him Petey? Well, why does the male fawn over the wicked paedophile who is Donald Trump? I don't know. But there you go. Mandelson on rack over best pal Epstein, understandably. And then we've got Trump rebukes Israel for strikes targeting Hamas leaders in Qatar. Qatar fury at Israel strike there on the metro, and also in the Financial Times we have finally Starmer tightens grip on economic policy in bid to keep businesses on side. The budget board links with Treasury. City braced for tax rises, and Reeves face scrutiny after missteps, which you can't really argue against. There's also a story here at the bottom. US slashes 911,000 off hiring numbers and hints at sharp cooling under Biden. So it turns out that now that Trump is in charge of the figures when it comes to employment, it turns out that apparently Biden's numbers were not quite correct. So I see something fishy there. I don't know enough about it to really come down one way or another, but it does seem a little bit odd that after Trump sacked the woman whose job it was to collate the jobs figures, when she revised the job figures and they weren't very good, and now they're saying, oh, actually they were shit under Biden. Yeah, funny that. They should advertise washing machine powders on sports gear. They should. Private School Mafia link from Alistair. Thank you very much for that, to share that with everyone. privateschoolmafia.com. And hey L is there. Hey L, how you doing? And what else we got? It became a sales and services tax. Yeah, but it started as a luxury tax. VAT was just on luxury products, Fabergé eggs, jewellery, and I don't know, what do rich people spend their money on? Yachts, super yachts, cocaine. I think there's a lot of cocaine, ketamine. What else does rich people spend their money on? I guess sex workers, cocaine and sex workers. I think that's mostly it, isn't it? And gambling. Rich people going to casinos and spending all this money, other people's labour that they have stolen. They have embezzled for themselves by being the CEO of a company or a bank manager. They've managed to screw people out of the money that they get for actually doing something with their lives. Anyway, so oh no, Colin says, hi, I've been missing this live feed. I'm sorry, Colin, but you're here now, and that's what's important. So I'm going to get going. Lots to do here in Canada. Today I'm off to see a movie. I've forgotten what movie I'm going to see today. Should I tell you? I'll look it up. I will look it up on my phone. Although I have things written on my phone. I went to see Ballad of a Small Player yesterday. That was all right. I quite enjoyed it. I think your mileage will vary though. And today I'm going to see It Was Just an Accident, which is one of my favourite excuses. So I'm going to see that this afternoon. And then after that, I'm going to Second City, which I was supposed to go to on Saturday, but I didn't end up going. Which is like the comedy store here in Toronto, and it's the place where a lot of Canadian celebrities that we know and love, like John Candy, Rick Moranis, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Dan Aykroyd. It's where they cut their teeth and doing stand-up and doing mad little sketches and stuff, improv and things like that. And I'm going to go and see Chris Candy, who is the son of John Candy, who's doing the set tonight. So I'll be watching that. I'll let you know how it goes. I'll let you know if it was funny or not. And DJ says, yeah, they have underground mountains of chilled Ferrero Rochers. That's pushing the price up for the rest of us. Yeah, probably. Wouldn't surprise me one little bit. But yeah, houses, says Harushi. Yeah. Oh, cars. They buy cars, don't they? They buy twatty cars with like gold trims and really noisy engines and stuff. I think what we need to do, right, is this, right? This is the international signal, right? That you have to give anyone in a twat car, anyone who's sitting there at the traffic lights revving up their overpriced fucking roller skate. Just do that. Just look at them and go. If everyone did it, I think they'll stop buying these stupid fucking cars. Because you know what, everyone knows what that's like the international sign, isn't it? It's like that's the international sign for okay, but also that means white power. And if you're in Germany and if you're in Brazil, that means arsehole. So yeah, good luck with that. But generally speaking, I don't think that means anything else other than what it looks like it means. It's midnight in Australian East Coast. Midnight in Australia. DJ says, oh, I've read that one. And yes, it's early morning for Graham in Canada. It's just past 10 o'clock. It's just past 10 o'clock. And I'm just coming up to the hour mark of this broadcast. I was a few minutes late getting started. Sorry about that. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to Plum Duff for the super chat. It's very kind of you. I'll be back tomorrow with another Canada Brew. I will try and do it for 1:30 your time, but it might end up being 2 o'clock your time. Sorry. I try my best. I kind of wanted to do the PMQs today from here, but I realised it took a while for me to get the VPN sorted out and sign into the BBC and stuff to get the feed to watch the damn thing. So yeah, by the time, and it was 7 o'clock in the morning for me. So give me a break, baby. But yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow morning for me, so tomorrow afternoon. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost anything, but and hit the bell notification icon because that'll tell you when I'm going live. I did a little thing walking up and down King Street yesterday where all the cinemas are and things going on for the Toronto International Film Festival here in Toronto. And it's going to be impromptu. I don't know when I'll be able to do it. It'll just be a moment where there's not too many people on the streets. There's no one queuing up to see the celebrities, and I can get a good signal to be able to broadcast from my phone. So yeah, so please do that. But otherwise, I will definitely see you tomorrow afternoon for another Canada Brew. And until then, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Plum Duff, thank you so much for that mega chat. That is really, really kind of you. Thank you so much. And thanks everyone who dropped the super chat in today. And until next time, I'll say give us a like on the way out. And hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.